Hello everyone, this is Ashwin again. How is it going? Welcome to this video lecture. In this video lecture, we are going to explore the features of MySQL Workbench. So MySQL Workbench is the unified graphical user interface for MySQL administration, SQL query development, and data modeling. So it is frequently used on the Windows computers where MySQL is installed, or the Windows computers which are supposed to access MySQL server remotely. So let us see how we can best utilize the features of MySQL Workbench for our learning of SQL. So go to the search bar of Windows and type here MySQL SQL. Okay. So it is going to show you a lot of options related to MySQL. So one of those options will be MySQL Workbench. So just go ahead and click that option. So it is going to start the MySQL Workbench program. So this is the window for MySQL Workbench program, and then here you can see we have the options for making various connections. So whenever you are going to start MySQL Workbench for very first time, if there is any instance of MySQL running on the local computer, it is going to detect that instance automatically and it will configure it for the root user. So when I installed MySQL Workbench, I already had a local instance of MySQL running on this computer. So it automatically configured this root user for me. So in case you want to manually add any user, you can just go ahead and click this plus icon. And here we have the setup new connection. You just need to provide the connection name. So let us say test user. That is the username, and underscore MySQL01. So MySQL01 is the name of the instance, and let us say underscore local. So this means that test user on the MySQL01 instance running on the local machine. And connection type is standard TCP IP, and hostname is 127.0.0.1. That is the standard loopback address. Port 33606 is the port on which MySQL01 is accepting the remote connections, and username is test user. So by default, it is going to show us the root user. We just need to change it to test user, and then we are going to go ahead and test the connection. So once we click test connection, it is going to ask us for the password. Just provide in the password. So the password for this user is test123. If you remember, we had assigned this password at the time of creation of this user. So just click yes, and it says successfully made MySQL connection. Click OK and click OK again. And this is how we have configured our non-root user, the first non-root user on this instance and on this MySQL Workbench. So the name of this connection is test user underscore MySQL01 underscore local. This means that test user on the instance MySQL01 running on the local machine, and you just need to click it once and it will open it. So if you close this and try to reopen it, it is going to ask you for password again. So enter the password and click OK. So now this is the interface of MySQL Workbench. So this is the place where you can run the queries. So this is kind of worksheet for the queries. You can write the queries here, type in the queries here. You can just type here, show databases. And in order to complete the query, you just need to terminate it with the semicolon. And if there is only one query, you just don't even have to provide the semicolon. So once you have the query on this worksheet, you can just go ahead and execute the query. So there are two ways we can execute the query. You can execute the selected portion or of the script or everything if there is no selection. So all this essentially means is that if you have selected a query and run this and press this button, it is going to execute only the part that you have selected. Otherwise, it is going to run all the queries in the entire worksheet. Even if there is an error, an syntax error in the query, it is going to try to execute the entire worksheet. And the second button is for execute the statements under the keyboard cursor. So it means that it will execute the query which is under the current keyboard cursor. So we are not going to deal with this button much. So we are just going to run the query using this button. Okay, so let us see how to execute this query. So as of now, I have only single query here. So even if I press this button, it is going to run this query without any problem because there is only one query. There are no multiple queries, so it doesn't get confused. And it has executed the query. So this is the action output window where you can see the output of execution of any query. And then there is a list of databases. This is the output of the current query. And here, this is the schema browser. Okay, so as I have already told you, schema and databases mean one and the same thing in MySQL. So these are various windows of, or these are various tabs of MySQL Workbench. So let me repeat again. This is for writing query. So this is known as worksheet. This is the output window. This is the action output. So it shows the output of the, it shows whether the query that we tried to execute ran successfully or not. And this is the schema browser. So as far as development work goes, these are four most important windows in the MySQL Workbench. So let us try to type multiple queries. Then second query is use Sakila. So now it is showing us the error because the first query was not terminated properly. So let us terminate the first query properly and the error will be gone. So in case you have multiple queries in the worksheet, it is better to terminate the queries with semicolon. Okay, so the query has been terminated with semicolon again. And as you can see, it shows the entire worksheet as entire worksheet. Okay, and now we are going to go ahead and clear the action output window. So the way to do that is you just right click on the output, any of the output if there are multiple outputs, and just click clear. So now the action output window got clear. Now we are going to execute the entire worksheet in a single go. So just click this lightning symbol. It means execute or run. So as you can see here, there are two green bubbles. So the first green bubble corresponds to the successful execution of the query show databases, and the last green bubble corresponds to the successful execution of the query use Sakila. Okay, so as you can see, only the first query returns output and the second query does not return any output. That's why this window always shows the output of the last query. So the last query which gave the output was the query show databases. That's why we can see here only one output. So if I execute that select, so let's see what tables are available. So you can even explore the list of tables in any database or schema by clicking by collapsing this list of tables. So I'm just going to type, the query select star from actor. And terminate that query with semicolon. So now here you can see there are various tables in Sakila database. So the list of tables has got actor, addresses, category, city, country, customer, film, film actor, film category, film text, inventory, language, payment, and so many tables. So here there are three queries. The first query will show you the list of databases. The second query is going to start using Sakila database. And the third query is going to retain the rows from the database table actor. Okay, so I am going to run this entire worksheet at once, and so before that, let us clear the action output. Now the action output window is cleared of any of the previous outputs, and I'm going to run the query. And once I have executed the query, as you can see, this output window always shows the output of the last query. So here, as you can see, select star from actor, it has returned 200 rows. And this is not the only query which returns the output. These two queries, that is show databases and select star from actor, these two queries return output. But as we know that result grid will always show the output of the last query. That's why we are only able to see the output of select star from the actor. Okay, so in case you want to run these queries individually, you can just select that query and you can run you can click this lightning symbol. So as you can see, there is only one green bubble. It means that it has executed only one query, and the query that it has executed is the one which has been highlighted. So there are other queries too. So let's try to run these queries. Let's try to execute these queries out of order in which they appear in this worksheet one by one. So second query that I'm going to execute is the show database. So I have just highlighted that query and I'm going to run that query by clicking the lightning symbol here. See, you can see here the query and the order in which these queries have been executed, and third query is use Sakila. So finally, we have executed the second query, that is use Sakila. So here you can see the order in which the queries were executed. So this is the MySQL Workbench interface, and you can even close this query worksheet. You can even create a new worksheet by clicking this thing, create a new SQL tab for executing queries. So this is going to open a new worksheet for the same connection and for the same instance. Similarly, from file also you can just say new SQL script. Okay, so new query tab. So it is going to open a new query tab. You can even open multiple query tabs, and you can close the tabs like this. Okay, and in order to exit, you can just go ahead and exit. So this is how we can exit MySQL Workbench. So let us start it again. And just connect to this database and to this user again. See, we are connected to the user again. So in case you want to close this entire connection and without closing MySQL Workbench, so here you can see the tab corresponding to this particular connection and particular user. Just go ahead and close this tab. Once you close this tab, you will again be able to see the list of all the connections available. So just click any one of the connections in order to get connected again. So as we had already closed the connection for test user, it has already ended the session and it hasn't saved password anywhere. So it is asking us for the password again. Type in the password test123 and here we go. So this is how we can connect to a particular instance using a user, and how we can log out of that instance, how we can log out that user from the instance. So this is the way we can use MySQL Workbench for development purpose. You can just type in the query and you can select the query that you want to execute, or you can execute the entire worksheet. Let us try to explore some more options. So here there are options for management. So if you click here, so it is going to show you the status of the servers which is connected to which you are connected. So it shows the number of active connections, so InnoDB buffer usage, and the traffic in terms of kilobytes per second. You can even see the client connections and users and privileges. There are so many other options. You can even check for startup and shutdown, and you can even see the server logs. You can even see the dashboard, performance dashboard. So open cache, SQL statement executed, and all. This is all. These all options are for database administrators, the people who are going to administer the MySQL database and MySQL server side of that database. So you can close this window by just clicking this close button. So this is how we can use this MySQL Workbench for SQL query development and administration. So basically, database administration is a vast topic and it is out of the scope of this particular training. So I am not going to cover that. I hope that you found this video lecture very useful in exploration of MySQL Workbench. So there are many small things which you have to learn yourself. So there are so many tips and tricks that need to be learned while using MySQL Workbench, and the best way to learn those tips and tricks is to start using MySQL Workbench for connecting to a local or a remote MySQL server instance, and try to practice writing SQLs as much as possible. So thanks a lot for watching this lecture. Do let me know if you have any queries or comments. Thanks a lot again, and see you in the next video lecture.